Okay, so I guess I'll start it off by saying that, like, basically the goal of optimizing keybinds and why you don't just do like default, at least if you want to be as competitive as possible, is to limit the amount of times you have to stop and be vulnerable. And so the goal is to basically make it so that you can defend and maneuver all the time, regardless of what you're doing. And in some cases be able to do certain things together at the same time that you might not otherwise be able to if you're playing with default keys.
Artillery strike online.
So I can go through what I have and why I chose it. So for chat, no, I'm just kidding. So for, let's see, where should I start? I guess with override, so override's my left alt next to the space button. I can just hit that with my thumb. It's not super comfortable, but I only have to hit it maybe a couple times during a match, if only once at the beginning of the match, so not that big of a deal whether it's uncomfortable or not. I'll also say that generally, like, how you want to keybind things is basically so that the less often things you want on the far keys, ones that you aren't going to press a whole lot, ones that you're going to use a whole lot, you want by either on your mouse or you want them by your movement keys. Just generally whatever is most comfortable for you to hit, because you're going to be hitting it a lot. I have stealth on comma, and right alt is my ECM. So initially, way back when, I think it was when you had to master 3 mechs or whatever. I think it was before the skill tree, but you pretty much could only take 2 consumables. And so back then I used to have slot 1 on G and slot 2 on H. And so then I would just always put my strikes or UAVs in slot 1 and my cool shots in 2. And so that worked. But now that you can have multiple consumables and stuff like that, I actually separate them. So on Q, I have cool shot, arties I have on G, airs I have on H, and then my UAVs are 3 and 4 on the number row. Mask, I will also say, like, I tend to map things similar to like how I would in a shooter. So mask is analogous to sprint. I have that on shift. Let's see what else. Target lock R, of course. Show overlay is my push to talk key. So left control. I have that in push to talk as well, so that, like, I hit target overlay, I can see the name or mech or whatever, or their target identifier, so like Foxtrot or whatever. I can hit that and my push talk at the same time and then call something out. Let's see, what else do I change? Battle grid is B. It's easy to hit, but also because, like, B and battle grid, it just clicks in my brain, I guess. Center torso and stuff like that, you can ignore that stuff because that's just so you can enter an academy. And so my movement keys are EDSF, not WASD. The reason I do that is because you gain extra keys on the left side. At least for me, I feel like you can only hit 2, maybe 3 if you stretch keys out to the left or right of where your hand is placed. And so it basically gives me an extra key or two to the left of my hand to be able to press. What else do I have here? This doesn't really matter, I just have it so that I can walk away from my computer and my mech will still move, like at the beginning of a match, or if I take my hand off the keyboard. What else do I have? Okay, so this is a change that I just made. That's what I was doing a quick play. So I have free look on Z. Normally in like a shooter, I have it on crouch. Z is my crouch button, because in a lot of shooters, crouch spamming is a thing. So you strafe while crouching up and down to warp. Basically, it's the same thing as like warping your hitbox with jump shots in this game. You move your hitbox up and down, so it makes it very difficult to keep the crosshair trained on one specific part of whatever you're shooting. But I have a free look here. I used to have hold to arm lock on Z because it's comfortable for me. The reason I changed it is because I feel like, at least for me with the dragon, you have to be really comfortable holding free look and being able to move and stuff like that to be able to actually use the dragon properly. So whatever's comfortable for you holding and moving at the same time. And then this used to be on V, but I couldn't comfortably hold that and shoot and fight at the same time. So I swapped those around. So now V is toggle arm lock for me. Reset zoom, I have wheel down. Toggle max zoom level, pardon, is wheel up. So like if you have advanced zoom, it'll go straight to advanced zoom. And then I have I don't use level 1 zoom if there is one on a mech. I always use level 2, and so it's clicking middle mouse button for me. The reason I don't have advanced zoom toggled is because I kept running into the problem of like, so you have steps on a mouse wheel. I would press up on the mouse wheel, and because it's toggle advanced zoom, I would advance zoom in, and then if I did one step too far, it would zoom out again. And so to basically avoid that, I set max zoom at wheel up, and so I can just press up and it won't reset it, and then I just pull down to reset. So that way it gives me more control over whether I'm zoomed in or out. It's up to you guys, whatever is comfortable. That's just how I do it. Otherwise I screw up my zoom all the time. Thermal, I don't use night vision because I don't think it helps on any maps, for me personally. Anytime that night vision would be useful, thermal works as good or better. Maybe with the exception of looking through the smoke on caustic, but that's such a niche situation that I don't really care that much. And then last we have weapons. So ignore, kind of ignore like these buttons, I guess, because it's weird how I have them set up. But basically, it goes from left to right. So A on my keyboard. This is just to have a fourth weapon group because I felt like there were specific mechs that needed it. And so generally I'd relegate it to, since it's kind of an awkward thing and I can't really move very well if I'm pressing it, I kind of relegate it to like arm mounts to shoot a UAV down. Something that like I don't really need to move or anything. Group 2 is my side mouse button. If I'm not using A, that's usually like my arm mounts to shoot UAVs. 3 is my left mouse button, and 4 is my right mouse button. So it works left or right. And that's why you see like 3 right here is my left mouse button. 4 is my right mouse button on my weapon groups right now. That's why it's like that. I just set them up left or right, basically. So, let's see, after explaining all that, I guess the reason is to show you, for the most part. So, again, I have things set up so that if I need to do something, I can move or defend myself and use it at the same time. So say I have to pop a UAV, usually don't really have to move per se for popping UAVs. And so I have it on 3 and 4 on the number row. So I can basically move like this. And then I can take my hand off the keyboard, hit UAV, and because I just have to hit the button, I don't have to hold it or anything, it's not that big of a deal because I go hit UAV and then I go straight back to the keyboard. So there's very little downtime where I can like twist, move, back up into cover and stuff like that, and use my UAV at the same time. So I can like come around the corner. So there's like a mech over here. Come around the corner, hit the UAV and immediately back up. So stuff like that. I'm not standing still trying to hit my UAV button. Yada yada. It doesn't leave me vulnerable to getting one shot like a light mech or something, which is usually what you're gonna have a UAV in. And I can also technically do the same, so if like, say I'm trying to make a turn or something, I can hold W and F at the same time and use my middle finger, or my ring finger rather, to hit 3 and 4. So like I can turn, hit the UAV button, do the same as well. Strikes, again I have RD on G, air on H. So I could peek out, back up, hit my strike, and then twist immediately. And my fingers basically never leave my movement key. Cool shot's the same, so cool shot's on Q. And my fingers on EDSF. I just use my ring finger, hit cool shot really quick, and then my fingers are back to the movement keys. So I guess there's another thing to point out is like things you just have to click or hit very quickly and then you can just immediately go back to your movement key are also things I would tend to push out further on the keyboard. And then I have like the hold buttons very close to the movement keys if I need to. Same thing, I got arm lock. I don't like hitting V, but I just have to click V. And I can arm lock straight away. Click it again, and I can take it off rather than holding it. And again, that's why I moved that with free look. Because free look you have to hold, and I cannot do that if it's on V. So it's whatever's comfortable, but basically the idea is to move the things that you're going to hold or use most often closer to your movement keys, and set the things that are one clicks or uncomfortable and you don't use very often further away from the movement key. And the idea is to, again, it's going to be different for everybody because they have different movement keys and whatnot, but you want to set it up in a way that is comfortable and you have as little downtime from being able to shoot and move and twist and stuff like that as possible, while being able to actually use your keys or consumables and whatnot. So again, like free look, Like before it was very awkward, like I couldn't really move very well. Something kind of like this if it was on V. But like now that it's on Z, I can pretty much just play it how I would any other mech, and it's perfectly comfortable. So I have no problem like tracking, moving my mech and stuff like that while I'm doing it at the same time. Let's see, what else? What else can I go over?
Override engaged.
Yeah. Oh, I guess command wheel, I think Stefka, you asked about it. Like, command wheel I have on W, right next to my movement key. So it would be like, if you were on WASD, it would be Q for you, for example. But I have it like that, so I can like, say I see that mech, I can immediately go target him, and immediately target spot. And I can still move. That's the thing, like sometimes my fingers will come off of a movement key, but as long as I can always back up and turn, or go forward and turn the direction, or turn forward and backward, that's fine. If you're a little less specific in your movements for a momentary second, that's whatever. And that's kind of what target spotted is I take my
Target acquired.
ring finger off of S, so I can't move left, but usually it's during a peek anyway. So I peek him, take my finger off S, target spotted, and I'm backing up. Usually you're not going to be like doing a left turn while target spotting or whatever, so not that big of a deal. You can do it though. Say you come out of cover and you immediately target spot and then do a left turn, so it's whatever. It's these momentary instances where you're taking your fingers off of the movement keys that aren't going to be punished super hard, if at all, anyway, so it's not that big of a deal.